Rome did not negotiate often. In the ancient world, resistance to Rome usually ended the same way: defeat, occupation, and tribute. But once, on the southern edge of Egypt, Rome encountered a ruler who refused submission and forced the empire to step back. Her name was Candace Amanirenas. She ruled an African kingdom, led armies into Roman territory, survived brutal retaliation, and emerged with her people independent. Not conquered, not taxed, not occupied. This is the story of one of the rare rulers in history who made Rome back down. Amanirenas ruled a powerful African state centered at Meroe in present-day Sudan. Kush was wealthy, industrialized, and strategically positioned along the Nile trade routes connecting Central Africa to the Mediterranean. Kush controlled gold, iron production, ivory, and trade networks that Rome depended on. It was not a minor frontier society. It was a regional power. Crucially, Kush had a political system unlike Rome's. Female rule was institutional. The title Candace referred to a queen or queen mother with full authority. Candaces ruled in their own right, commanded armies, and made diplomatic decisions. Amanirenas inherited not just a throne, but a tradition of female leadership backed by military force. In 30 BCE, Rome annexed Egypt after defeating Cleopatra. Egypt became a Roman province, ruled directly by the emperor. This victory brought Rome to Kush's northern border. Roman officials saw Nubia as a buffer zone, a source of taxes, and a region to be controlled. Garrisons were placed along the Nile. Roman prefects pushed south, testing Kush's defenses. For a time, Amanirenas observed. She did not immediately respond. But when Roman troops overreached and attempted to assert authority inside Kushite territory, the situation changed. The conflict was no longer theoretical. It was inevitable. In 25 BCE, Amanirenas launched a surprise offensive. She mobilized an army reportedly numbering around 30,000 soldiers and marched north into Roman-controlled Egypt. This was not a defensive maneuver. It was a calculated invasion. Kushite forces captured key frontier cities, including Syene, Philai, and Elephantine. Roman garrisons were expelled. Supplies were seized. Imperial symbols were destroyed. Most famously, Kushite soldiers toppled statues of Augustus. One bronze statue's head was removed and carried hundreds of miles south to Meroe. There, it was buried beneath the steps of a public ceremonial building. Every person who entered that structure walked over the face of Rome's emperor. It was a deliberate, symbolic act. Kush was not just resisting Rome. It was challenging Rome's authority. Rome responded as empires do. The Roman governor led a massive counteroffensive into Kushite territory. Roman forces advanced deep along the Nile, burning settlements and destroying one of Kush's sacred and political centers. During this phase of the war, King Amanirenas' husband and co-ruler died. Rome expected this to break Kush's resistance. It did not. Leadership did not collapse. The Candace remained in command. Kushite forces regrouped, avoided direct engagements, and continued to pressure Roman positions. Rome could destroy cities. It still could not control Kush. During the fighting, Amanirenas was wounded and lost one eye. Roman writers later mocked her as the one-eyed Candace, believing the injury diminished her authority. They were wrong. She continued to command operations. Kushite forces harassed Roman supply lines, exploited terrain, and made permanent occupation impossible. Roman forts were isolated, expensive to maintain, and constantly under threat. The war dragged on for years, draining Roman resources and patience. Eventually, Rome reconsidered its strategy. Unable to defeat Kush militarily, Rome turned to diplomacy. Kushite envoys met Augustus, and negotiations produced an extraordinary outcome. The final treaty fixed the Roman southern border at Syene, far north of Kush's heartland. Roman troops withdrew. No tribute was imposed. No taxes were demanded. No Roman governor was installed. Kush remained fully sovereign. In the ancient world, this was a genuine victory. Amanirenas ruled for several more years before disappearing from the historical record around 10 BC. But her achievement endured. She preserved her kingdom's independence and forced the most powerful empire of her age to accept limits. Her story reminds us of a truth often ignored. Africa resisted empire. African women ruled with authority. And Rome did not always win.